Cowabunga Ranger Talk, a hybrid Power Ranger Ninja Turtle podcast. Here is the head for undercover Raph that I'm going to be using, and warning, if you do this, you know, you're breaking the seal of the figure or whatever, so if it gets damaged or whatever, I'm just letting you know, it's at your own risk. But this is the head I'm going to use to make the rock and roll Raph. Putting it here in a transparent cup. I'm giving it 2 minutes. But I'm also looking at it, so hopefully, it doesn't melt or anything. God willing. Quick little note, I put it for 222, but at more or less the 1 minute mark, I'm gonna pop it out so it doesn't completely melt. Like you see, the cup already fell over. But see, if I could do this with one hand. I think I can get the you see, trying to get the hat off. Sorry for the bad angles there. Or if you can't, let me see. Okay, so this kind of sucks. It has this, hold on. There. So it sucks that it has sort of this hat wearing head. I thought it was gonna be flat, but still, it's already, I'm this far in, so just gotta keep going. So here he is. I was able to get the hat completely off. I have to reshape this a little bit to make it look more like what I want it to do, but now comes a big no-no. But it's toy making, so I'm gonna have to cut part of the shell because I have to make it, putty it up, so gotta cut some of this off. And I'm gonna, at least for now, because I also want to leave drying the first coat of the pants, because he wears pants in his rock and roll version, so I'm going to use these shear cutters to start opening the boy up. And you almost hear that movie, look what they've done to my baby boy. Look how they massacred my baby boy, but he will look better eventually, so. This is also what happens when a completist wants to complete a line, so, or at least a wave, because now that I'm this way in, I'm gonna have to get the other rock and roll turtles that actually came out, so. I also have to sculpt out his feet, his boots. It's some work here. It's not just out of nowhere. But I still want to keep it, so he has like peeking out the shell. I also took the belt off him because I have to paint it red. See there, I'm trying to get a little bit more in there. So he's gonna look like he's wearing pants more than he's not. I might actually use some putty and just like fill out the legs, but the problem with doing that is that I won't be able to get any articulation because the way putty dries, it might not come out great. But either way, I still want to get this far along. Now there he is. And I will be stopping right after I do this little part, but I want to do it because, like I said, it's the beginning of the drying part. So here we go. Time to start the look of the pants, at least. I also want to do this so I can kind of fix some of the loose leg issues that some of these figures have, even if it is with a little bit of paint. The paint scuffing will kind of help it stand better. By the way, Jimmy, just since I'm doing this video, for those of you wondering, this is not my actual Raphael. This was the second one I bought. This wasn't because I had originally bought the full price one because I liked the line that much, but this was the second one I got on eBay for a good price. So for those of you wondering. I know this isn't the final, but it is. Like I said, to at least get something going and get something drying. Yeah, I took off the belt. The belt has to be painted. This ain't perfect, and it is not meant to be. It's just to start grabbing some of the paint. Sort of like when you paint the house, the initial one, the initial color, the base paint, that's kind of what this is right now. And there he is. See if I can cover him a little more there. And now it's time to let the boy dry. So here we are, and this is the end of the episode. And this is about as far as I've been able to take the character of rock and roll Raph, heavy metal Raph, if you will. You know, since he didn't exist and things like that. Yeah, he wasn't remastered into the Ultimates line. I still kind of got him started here, and I will do a future episode with the figure finally done. But I wanted to get this shot in because it's all of the other Raphs that have been done in the Ultimates line: the Undercover, the regular one, Space, Glow in the Dark, and now mine, quote unquote, you know, right there in the middle. I also gave him a little guitar, so take a look at him here. So funny enough, I made his little guitar out of the brush that I was using to actually paint him. So I think that's kind of, you know, to use him, because that's what you want to do with a figure like this, right? I still got to figure out if I'm going to, you know, flatten this down and Or maybe I'll just like go ahead and give them the big, rocker 80s, hairstyle, what have you. But I think that's a good spot there too. It did dry pretty well for the first coat. And I like this head because it kind of goes with what it was supposed to be, but never was. The boots here, I started forming them, but I think I'm going to have to change up the material because this is a foam material, a foam putty, and I think I'm going to have to go with a more epoxy putty to kind of finish out the big yellow rocker boots there. But there he is. And I hope you enjoyed watching this episode of Cowabunga Ranger Talk. I'm your host, Mascara, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.